Hi, I'm Claire, and today I want to talk about some of my favorite villains in books. This was originally a Top 5 Wednesdays topic for, I think, November 2016, something like that. I prepared a list of awesome villains, completely intending to film a video for that particular week, and of course I didn't manage to get to it in time, which is why I am doing it now. Since this was originally a Top 5 Wednesday topic, I will leave a link to that Goodreads group in the description box below so that you can go and check them out if you enjoy this type of top 5 video and you want to go and see what topics are on this month. At number 5 we have The Other Mother from Coraline by Neil Gaiman. She has to be one of the creepiest villains out there. I find her delightfully terrifying. It's such a simple, timeless concept. It's not only the good old be careful what you wish for, but also the idea of the uncanny, the doppelganger. The other mother is this thing that looks almost exactly like the person Coraline loves most in the world, but is not quite her. The idea that your mother could be not quite right and you wouldn't immediately know, or worse, in the case of Coraline, you might be tempted. You might like the other mother more than your own mother. It's a very chilling thought. And of course she also wants to sew buttons over your eyes, so that doesn't help. Next, for number 4, I'm going to say The Wood from Uprooted by Naomi Novik. I have a thing for stories where the big bad is a force of nature or an unthinking entity rather than a person, but what I love about The Wood is that it isn't quite that. When the story starts, the wood seems to act like an infection or fungal creep. It advances on the valley and consumes life because that is its instinct. But as the story continues, you get a sense that the wood is more purposeful than that. It's a malignant entity with something of a personality emerging. To me, it made it seem more menacing to think that the wood was scheming, that it had a plan to draw our protagonist into its claws. And of course the revelation of just how it was that the war with the wood started ties into that, and it makes perfect sense. At number 3 we have Anna and the Meinai from the Imperial Ratch series by Anne Leckie. The Emperor of the Ratch makes such a magnificent villain. Meinai is, in her own mind and in the mind of the people of the Ratch, more than a person. She is a dictator who has risen to goddess-like status. She is also one of these villains that is utterly convinced that she is the good guy in her own story, bringing civilization to the masses. It's difficult to conceive of her as a single character, not only because she lives in a multitude of bodies or because she has worn herself so thin that her consciousness is starting to split, but also because of the sheer amount of power that she yields. As I was reading the book, I couldn't quite imagine her losing at all. For my second favorite villain, it's perhaps a little bit of a cheat, but I'm choosing Sir Ambrosius Goldenloin from Nimona by Noel Stevenson. Of course, within the world of Nimona, Goldenloin is a shining hero, and it's our protagonist, Lord Ballister Blackheart, who is considered a villain. Yet, as we discover more about their past together back when they were friends, we discover that Goldenloin actually has a lot to answer for. Whether he was actually responsible from Blackheart's downfall at the academy or not, he certainly took advantage of the situation. Of course, redemption arcs are extremely common, but the way that Goldenloin was established as something of a villain was fascinating. We get the slow reveal of the hero's moral corruption, the idea that he is just a regular guy who isn't that brave and who is only a hero because the super shady organization tells people that he is. Despite his eventual redemption, what is super scary and villainous about Goldenloin is the way that he worked for that organization for years and years, ignoring how shady they seemed and doing his best not to rock the boat. And finally, at number 1, the character I thought of immediately when I saw the topic of favorite villains is Cersei Lannister from the Song of Ice and Fire series by George R.R. Martin. I love Martin's characterization and how multifaceted he makes all of his major characters. With Cersei, you meet meet her from the Stark's point of view, and as a reader, you're confident that you know who and what she is. And then, as the books progress and you move into different characters' heads and eventually into Cersei's own, you get to see different sides of her. She's still a villain, still a morally corrupt, selfish, entitled woman who thinks she's much more cunning than she really is. And yet, there are also things about her life, her past, that make it impossible to not understand at least a little bit of where she's coming from. Though, of course, understanding is not excusing and she's still a terrible person. So that's it. These were some of my favorite villains. Let me know what you think of my choices in the comments below. And if I've left out your favorite baddie, do tell me why you love them. If you'd like to see more from me, you can check the sidebar right here for more videos. And if you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button for new videos from me every week. I've been Claire, thanks so much for watching, and see you soon.